Okay, picture the scene. You're on a flight, and let's say it's been a long one, maybe 6, 7 hours.
Mm-hmm.
The cabin lights are dimmed, you've got the hum of the engines and the air conditioning. It has been blasting at like Arctic tundra levels the entire time.
It is always freezing on those long-haul flights. Always.
Exactly. So naturally, you've gotten extremely cozy with that airline blanket. You know the one.
Oh, I know the one.
It's fleece, it's got the airline logo on it, and in that specific moment, it feels like the most comforting object on planet Earth. But then, the captain comes on, cabin crew prepare for landing, and the spell breaks.
Right.
You look at the blanket, then you look at your open carry-on bag, and the question just pops into your head, can I take this?
It's the universal traveler's dilemma.
It is, right. And it's not just the blanket. Maybe it's those noise-canceling headphones they lent you, or that really nice amenities pouch.
Or even just that half-eaten bag of pretzels you were saving for later.
Yes. The line between what is a complimentary gift and what is, corporate property gets very, very blurry at 30,000 feet.
It does. And most of us just guess. We think, well, I paid $800 for this ticket. Surely I own this pillow now.
Exactly. Is it a souvenir? Is it a loan? Am I going to get tackled by a flight attendant if I walk off with the spoon? So today, we're doing a deep dive into the rules of the cabin. We're going to navigate the surprisingly complex etiquette and regulations of in-flight amenities.
And what I love about this is that when you peel back the layers, it's not just about airlines being stingy.
It feels like that sometimes, though.
It does, but when we looked at the source material, we found that these rules are actually about global logistics, sustainability, and sometimes strict federal agriculture laws.
And aviation safety regulations, that was the big one.
That was the big one.
So taking the wrong thing isn't just rude, it could actually be illegal.
Illegal, and in some cases, it can physically ground the plane for the next group of passengers.
Wow. Okay, that raises the stakes. So to help us figure out what to keep and what to leave, we've pulled insights from 3 heavy hitters in the aviation world. We have Susan Oltwall. She's a 10-year flight attendant with Royal Jordanian.
Okay.
We have Julie Kelly from United. And we've got Deep Westacott, who has this fascinating perspective because he's a former flight attendant who is now a regional manager for Cathay Pacific.
That's a great mix. You've got the crew on the ground, and then you have the management side looking at the bottom line and the legalities.
So let's get into it. I've got my carry-on bag open. I want to know what I can guilt-free swipe from the plane. Let's start with the green light items.
The green light category is surprisingly generous, actually.
Yeah.
And the undisputed king of this category is the amenity kit.
I love those things, the little zippered pouches you get in business class or sometimes on long international flights in economy.
Exactly. They've usually got the toothbrush, the tiny toothpaste, the eye mask, maybe some earplugs. The consensus from all our experts is once that kit is handed to you, it is yours.
Even if I don't open it. Because sometimes I feel bad taking it if I didn't use it.
Take it anyway. In fact, you should take it.
Oh, really? Why is that?
It's a hygiene issue. Once a flight attendant hands that kit to a passenger, or even just places it on a seat, the airline considers it contaminated. They can't verify if you opened it or not.
So they can't just give it to the next person?
No way. So if you leave it behind, it's just going to go in the trash.
So I'm actually doing them a favor by taking it.
You're ensuring it gets used. Plus, airlines want you to take them. They're marketing tools.
That makes sense. I actually saw a note about Hawaiian Airlines and the research on this.
Yes, Hawaiian's a great example. They collaborate with native Hawaiian designers for their pouches, and they use responsibly sourced materials. They explicitly want you to take that bag home, reuse it for your cables or whatever, and think about your great vacation.
I do that. I use old amenity kits to organize my tech cables. They're perfect for that.
See? That's exactly what they want.
Okay, so amenity kits are a go. What about those sanitizing wipes? I feel like since the pandemic, every time I board, someone hands me a wipe or a gel packet.
Green light. Take them. Hoard them.
Hoard them.
Absolutely. It's the same logic. It's a single-use hygiene product. United Airlines, for instance, hands these out during boarding. They are definitely not going to collect used or even unused wipes to hand out again.
That would be so gross.
It would be. So, use one on your tray table, which, by the way, is often germier than the bathroom door. But if they give you a couple, stick the extras in your pocket. Great for the rental car later.
Okay, moving up the luxury ladder a bit. Let's talk about pajamas.
Ah, the soft product.
If I'm lucky enough to be in a premium cabin where they give me a set of pajamas and those fluffy slippers, Surely they want those back. They seem expensive.
You would think so, but this is another green light. Deep Westcott from Cathay Pacific was very clear on this. Airlines generally cannot reuse sleepwear.
Even if I just wear them for like an hour for a nap?
Even then, just think about the logistics. For an airline to reuse them, you'd have to collect them all, shift them to an industrial laundry facility, wash them, repackage them, ship them back.
That sounds really expensive.
It is. The cost and the carbon footprint of that whole cycle are massive. It is actually cheaper for them to just treat the pajamas as a gift. If you leave them on the seat, they're likely getting discarded anyway.
So they actually want me to take them home as a souvenir.
He encourages it. Take them as a keepsake.
Free pajamas. I can get used to that. What about reading material? In-flight magazines are kind of disappearing, but I still see them sometimes.
They're getting rare, yeah, especially in the U.S. But if you do find one, like Hawaiian Airlines still publishes Hanahu, you are welcome to take it.
I miss the crossword puzzles.
Go grab it. It's marketing for them. And honestly, those magazines get beat up so quickly. They'd rather you take a fresh one home and show it to your friends.
Okay, so my bag is looking pretty good. I've got toiletries, wipes, pajamas, and a magazine. But now we enter the zone that stresses me out. The gray area.
The ask first zone.
Let's talk headphones. Because I feel like I've seen conflicting information on this my whole life. Sometimes they seem like trash, sometimes they seem like gold.
Because the policies vary wildly. It really depends on the airline.
So what's an example?
Okay, take Delta. On a lot of domestic flights and economy, they use those really inexpensive earbuds in a plastic wrapper. You know the ones.
Yeah, the ones that hurt your ears after about 40 minutes.
Those ones. The airline just considers those disposable. They aren't going to collect and sanitize thousands of cheap earbuds. So taking them is usually fine.
Okay, but I assume that's not true for the big noise-canceling ones.
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah.
And even in economy, it's not always keep them. Look at Emirates. They have a totally different approach. They collect their headsets at the end of the flight because they have a partnership with a company called M&H Sustainable Cabin Services.
That sounds official.
It is. They take the used headsets, they clean them, service them, and refurbish them for reuse. If you take that headset, you're literally breaking a recycling chain.
And let's be honest, those airline headphones usually have that weird two-prong plug anyway.
Exactly. You can't even use them on your phone.
So why would I even want it?
Right. One of our sources made a great point. The most sustainable thing is just to bring your own earbuds. But if you aren't sure, just ask the crew, do you collect these? It's that simple.
Okay, here's the one that I think catches the most people off guard. Food.
Oh, the food. This is the gray area that can turn into a red alert really, really quickly.
If they give me a bag of chips or something, I usually just toss it in my bag. But what about, fresh fruit?
This is where you have to be so careful. Julie Kelly from United says that on domestic flights, so, flying New York to Chicago, taking your snacks is usually fine.
Domestic is safe. Got it.
But international flights, that is the danger zone.
Because of customs.
Because of agricultural regulations. And this isn't just a slap on the wrist. We are talking about serious biosecurity. One of our sources shared a story that is basically a traveler's nightmare.
Okay, let's hear it.
So a traveler was flying internationally into LAX. During the flight, they were served a banana, just a regular banana. They weren't hungry, so they put it in their carry-on.
I have done this. I think everyone has done this.
They land, go to baggage claim, and suddenly they get flagged by the Beagle Brigade.
The Beagle Brigade? That sounds kind of adorable.
It sounds cute. They are cute dogs.
Yeah.
But it is the Customs and Border Protection Agriculture Canine Team. These dogs are trained to sniff out plants and meat to stop invasive species. The dog just sits down right next to the
Over a banana.
Over a single banana. And here's the kicker.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just say, oops, my bad, and throw it in the trash. Once you've passed a certain point, you have technically imported an undeclared agricultural product.
Oh, no.
The source had to wait in this long line for official confiscation and destruction of the banana. It caused a massive delay. They were lucky they didn't get slapped with a fine, which can be hundreds of dollars.
That is a nightmare. I'm never taking fruit off a plane again.
That is the safest bet. Bottoms up before wheels down. Meat, fresh fruit, vegetables, just leave them on the plane.
Okay, let's move to the red light items. The stuff we absolutely cannot touch. I'm assuming my beloved blanket falls into this category.
Unfortunately, yes. This is a hard no.
It breaks my heart.
Deep Westcott is very clear on this. Blankets and pillows are the property of the airline. They are intended to be cleaned and reused hundreds, if not thousands of times.
But what if I just slip it in my bag? Who's going to know?
Well, first, that's technically stealing.
Right.
And it costs the airlines a huge amount of money every year to replace them. They are for your comfort during the journey. They aren't gifts.
Is there any wiggle room on this at all?
None. In fact, if you want a blanket, the advice is to just bring your own. It usually doesn't even count towards your carry-on limit, by the way.
I did not know that.
Yeah. But taking the airline's blanket is a definite etiquette fail.
Okay, goodbye, cozy blanket. What about booze? If they serve me a mini bottle of wine and I don't finish it, can I take it for the road?
Absolutely not. And this isn't just airline policy. This gets into liquor licensing and FAA regulations.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. You cannot take unfinished alcohol off the plane. The airline's liquor license applies to the aircraft itself, not the airport terminal. And it goes the other way, too. You can't drink your own alcohol on board unless a flight attendant serves it to you.
Right, I've heard that. You can't just crack open a bottle of duty-free in your seat.
Exactly. It's all about monitoring intoxication levels. A drunk passenger is a safety liability. If you're secretly drinking your own vodka, they can't track your state. So, taking booze off? No. Drinking your own booze. Also, no.
What about water?
Don't take the whole bottle from the galley cart.
I've seen people do this. They walk by the cart when the attendants aren't looking and just grab a giant bottle.
That's a major no-no.
Oh.
Susan Altwall explains that flights have a specific allotment of water. If you take a whole bottle, you might actually be depriving the people in the back of the plane of water service later in the flight.
That's just rude.
It is. Just ask for a cup. They will give you water.
Okay, next red light item. Bathroom amenities. Not the little kits, but the big stuff.
Believe it or not, people try to steal the soup dispensers.
The ones that are bolted to the wall.
Yes. The large bottles of lotion or soap. I mean, taking these is just so inconsiderate to the other 100 people who need to use the bathroom. Plus, do you really want that in your purse?
Hard pass. Okay, last one in this zone before we get to the really serious stuff. Premium electronics.
This is mostly in business and first class. Sometimes they hand out, Bose, noise-canceling headphones, or even tablets for entertainment.
These are expensive items.
Very. And the flight attendants count them. Specifically.
Oh, yeah.
They know exactly how many they handed out, and they know how many they need back before landing. If you try to sneak a Bose headset into your bag, they will notice immediately.
And that's a very awkward conversation to have while everyone is waiting to get off the plane.
Extremely awkward. Just leave the electronics.
Okay, so we've covered the freebies, the gray areas, and the outright theft. But now we need to talk about the serious zone. This is where the outline took a turn I was not expecting.
Yes. This is where we move from etiquette to operational safety.
We're talking about things like the safety card, the life vest under your seat.
The demo equipment, yeah. Now, I know some people think the safety card is a quirky souvenir.
Yeah.
The laminated card in the seat back pocket with little diagrams.
I'll admit, I have thought about taking one. It's just a laminated piece of paper, right? It's kind of cool.
To you, it's a piece of paper. To the airline and to the aviation authorities, it is a required safety document. And this is where Susan Altwall introduces a very important concept, the MEL.
The MEL.
The minimum equipment list. Every single aircraft has a master list of items required by law to be on board and functional for the plane to be considered airworthy.
And the safety card is on that list.
Oh, yeah. It is legally required that every single passenger seat has access to safety instructions.
So let's play this out. I'm in seat 22A. I slip the card into my backpack for a souvenir. I walk off the plane. What happens next?
The flight attendants do a cabin check. They get to your row. They see the card is missing. Now, the plane technically cannot take off with a passenger in seat 22A until that card is replaced.
You're kidding me.
I am not. Now, if you are at a major hub like Atlanta for Delta, maybe they have a supply closet at the gate with spare cards. At a 10-minute delay. Annoying, but manageable.
But what if you aren't at a hub?
That's the outstation scenario. Let's say you landed at a small regional airport. They might not have a closet full of spare safety cards for that specific type of plane.
So they have to, fly one in?
Potentially. Or, worst case, they have to block off that seat. They can't sell it. They might have to bump a passenger from the next flight because C-22A is now inoperative.
All because I wanted a souvenir.
Exactly. You could be responsible for delaying the next flight, causing people to miss connections, all because you took a laminated card.
Wow. That puts it in perspective. It's not about the cost of the paper.
Well, sometimes it is about the cost, too. We learned about a specific tool used on the Airbus 320.
What kind of tool?
It's a small manual release tool for the oxygen masks. It looks like a tiny piece of red plastic, almost like a toy.
It looks like trash.
To the untrained eye, yes. But that little piece of plastic costs over $100.
$100?
For that, because it's a certified aviation tool. It has to be manufactured to specific standards.
Yeah.
If a passenger takes that, maintenance has to come on board, log the missing part, find a replacement. Again, you are grinding the entire operation to a halt.
Wow. Okay, so do not touch the safety equipment. That feels like a solid rule for life, generally.
It really is. Never touch the life vest, never touch the demo kit, and please leave the safety card.
So let's wrap this up. We've covered a lot of ground here. If I'm packing my bag before landing, what's the final checklist?
Okay, here's your summary. Keep hygiene kits, single-use wipes, pajamas, magazines.
Got it.
Ask. Headphones and food. And seriously, watch out for the customs dogs with the food. And leave. Blankets, pillows, booze, the bathroom soap, and absolutely anything related to the safety of the plane.
I like the way Julie Kelly put it. She has a golden rule for this.
Yes, bottoms up before wheels down. Consume it or leave it. And her other rule, if you aren't sure, assume it belongs to the plane.
It's safer to assume it's a loan, not a gift.
Precisely. Treat the cabin like a library, not a gift shop.
You know, what I really took away from this whole deep dive is how interconnected everything is.
How so?
Well, we usually complain about airline rules because we think they're just trying to squeeze money out of us, baggage fees, all of that.
Right, we think of it as a transaction.
Exactly. But the do not take list isn't about revenue. It's about the whole ecosystem. It's about the minimum equipment list. It's about the turnaround time at the gate. It's about making sure the person on the next flight has a blanket and a safe seat.
That's a great insight. The cabin isn't a store. It's a shared space that needs to be reset for the next group of people in like 45 minutes.
So here is a final thought for you to chew on next time you're flying. We often treat travel as this isolated event just about us, but this deep dive really reminds us that we are part of a very fragile logistical chain.
That's true.
So next time you reach for that safety card as memento, ask yourself, is the souvenir worth grounding the next flight? Is my little keepsake worth someone else missing their connection?
It's a question of citizenship at 30,000 feet.
I love that. Citizenship at 30,000 feet. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Fly safe, everyone.
And leave the blanket.
Leave the blanket. See you next time.